Cool FM live here outside of our studios, here along AZ90, right across from Fry's Foods and Target in Sierra Vista. Joining me right now is City Council member for the City of Sierra Vista, Mark Rodriguez. Mark, you've got some good news because finally the Highway 90 road repaving will actually start. Now this is no April Fool's joke, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not April.
It's not April. Speaking of April, the last word we heard was, well, just to take it back a few steps. This project has been needed for years, obviously, years and years, even before I came on council. And it's been a fight for a long time. It started off as one project area, right? And there was funding for that 2 years ago. But then there was more funding available. And so ADOT decided to, instead of bidding it out as two separate projects, which would have in the long run cost them more, they bid it out as one project together for one company to bid on. Now, with that said, that did delay the process, unfortunately, which didn't help us locally. And nobody's happy about that. We're not happy about that. We've been constantly reaching out to ADOT. I have a long list of emails, texts, and phone calls that we've always tried to reach out to them and ask for an update. Where are we at with this? So just want everybody to know that we've been putting pressure constantly on not only ADOT, but our, every time we see our state officials, same thing. Hey, can you please put some pressure at your level to see what's going on? Because they're the ones that fought for the funding to get this. So now that's about $8 million. Also, with that said, people have said, why don't the city just pay for it? It's not how it works, unfortunately. We can't take $8 million from our budget and fix a state road that is maintained by them and expect them to pay us back, because they will not. So we don't have the capability to do that. First of all, we don't have the resources. We don't have an asphalt plant. We don't have a whole crew to do stuff like that, so that wouldn't work either. Potholes are one thing, but this needs to be taken down to the base. So that's kind of a little background if you weren't aware of how this started. So now that it was bid on last year, actually in 23, finally in December they put the bid out, and so it was awarded to F&F Construction. Now the way it works is once they start actually construction, they have 365 days according to the contract they signed. So their work actually started in July of 2024. Sorry, so this past summer, about 5 months ago. It's hard to tell, but there's a process that has to be followed, right? And they're gonna have to do it backwards. So you have to do the guardrails, the sidewalks, the ADA compliance, and then the road work goes last. Because if you do it in reverse, you end up spending more money and possibly going over budget, and we don't want that, because we want the project done. Because of if they do the road first and they go back and do sidewalks, they might tear up the road. Same thing with guardrails. Same thing with having their big trucks going back and forth over the area they just fixed. So that is why the engineers came up with that concept to do it that way. It makes sense to them as engineers. I am not a road professional by any means, but I constantly am talking to them and asking, why they did that certain way. Because of course we all want it to start right here at this intersection. If I could wave my magic wand, that's what I'd make it do. But unfortunately, that's not how it works, and that's not. It would not be cost beneficial for this whole project, and we risk going over budget. Yeah, because the worst part is, of course, right here along Target and Fry's Foods, it's just atrocious. And by through Valero there along Highway 90 there, this is the worst area. But now, okay, we're going to start seeing trucks actually with gravel passing through this area here in Sierra Vista daily starting Friday, right? Yeah, so ADOT has actually agreed you've seen ADOT out here, and some people are like, well, that's all they're doing, that's it, they filled some potholes. So ADOT is out here, so let me also explain something else. So you have ADOT, who is in charge of the state roads, right? So they bid out this project to another company. So F&F Construction is the one that's doing the work, the whole project. From the Border Patrol checkpoint all the way down to Moson Rd is the project. So that's the Border Patrol checkpoint in Whetstone, coming all the way through here, passing through the road here, and then heading down to Moson Rd. Correct. So F&F Construction is doing the whole thing. Now, in the meantime, because it's going to be a while before they get to this intersection, ADOT has agreed to do some small fixes. That's why you see these ADOT trucks out here right now, filling potholes, putting some gravel down in the rough spots. To quote them, they said they would fill the major potholes, which I think is this whole area. So I don't know the whole area is kind of like a definition of a major pothole is, but I could say it's this whole area. And they understand as well that It's going to cost them money in the long run as well. But to them, they agree with me that safety is more important than that. So they know whatever fixes they do right now, whenever F&F makes their way down here, they're just going to tear it all up anyway. And that's okay. They should be okay with that. I'm okay with that, because in the meantime, we want to make the road as safe as possible in the meantime. So yes, ADOT is out here doing some stuff. That is not the fix. That is not the overall solution that we've been looking for. F&F is the one doing that. So ADOT is just doing their due diligence and doing what they can in the meantime. So if you see an ADOT truck, ADOT guys, those aren't the ones actually fixing the whole project. They are just doing temporary fixes in the meantime. So there's a difference there. And then hopefully F&F will work its way down and meet up with them and work all the way down here to the Moson Road. Now, another thing about the project. The reason it has to start at the northern end of the project. So of course, again, like I said, we all want it to start right here. We would prefer that, but just some logistics of the matter. Their asphalt plant is located south of town near the shooting range. Okay, so that is where the asphalt plant is going to be.
And so that's past Moson Road.
Yes, past Moson Road.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do is take the trucks down from down there, drive to the northern spot near the Border Patrol checkpoint, and start working there and working their way down. Because much like if you're mopping a floor in your house, you don't want to track, the floor you just mopped. So in this case, it would be those big trucks tracking up the project that they just fixed the road. They don't want these big trucks driving through that road they just fixed. So that's why they're going to start from the north and kind of mop their way down and going back and forth to that asphalt plant south of town all the way out till they're done. So that's the reason they're doing it that way. Again, it's cost effective that way. There's less chance of them ruining the work they've already done to have to go back and fix later, which will cause more delays, which will cost more money. Trying to stay under budget, and we're trying to get it done as soon as possible. So that's kind of how it has to roll.
Okay, so the good news is they are actually starting even earlier because of potential pressure from, maybe the pressure is finally working, and they're actually finally going to start paving.
Yeah. So I hope so. I hope that's the reason, is they listen to us, because we are constantly calling and bugging them, and I have no problem with bugging anybody about it when it comes to our city and our public safety. But yes, they're already out there right now. So the last word we heard was, because of the way the contract was written, they said there was some verbiage in there that said they can't work during the day in town because of traffic problems, and so they're only going to work at night. But unfortunately, at night here in Sierra Vista, our temperatures drop down a little colder to where that asphalt won't set. So their plan initially was to come back in March and do it all then. Again, remember, they have until July of 2025 to complete this project, because they started in July of 2024. 365 days, that's when the clock started. All right, so now going back to that, they announced this week that they are starting now. So if you've been anywhere near the Border Patrol checkpoint in Whetstone this week, past few days, I was up there this morning, right before this interview, they're already out there. They have the cones, they have one lane marked off, and the F&F trucks are out there. They have the trucks out there. They're doing some preparatory work, it looks like. They're sweeping. They're actually filling some bigger potholes in the meantime. They're cleaning up some trash off the road, some debris, in preparation for the big trucks to come start doing their work. So they are out there today. So it's earlier than we thought, which is good. So that they're going to take advantage of this daytime work. It's only going to happen between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And then they're going to work up until the Christmas holiday and take a break, and then come back after the New Year. So I don't know. I can't tell you when exactly they will reach this point, the worst part of it, but I do know that they're starting already. So my hope is that the northern part, which is not as bad as this one, won't take as long, because they don't have to take it all the way down to the ground like they do here. This is going to be a long process here.
Yeah, through this area, they're going to have to actually churn this whole area up and take it down, and take the current blacktop out, and haul it away and start fresh, basically.
Right, take it down all the way to the base.
Because it's so bad.
Yeah, it's horrible. As we all know, we all drive it every day. We all drive these roads just like you. I don't like them. I hate taking my motorcycle down this road, because it kind of throws me all over the lane, which is not safe. But again, I don't know when they'll actually reach this point, but they are coming. It is in movement. Again, they're taking a break for the holiday and starting right back again in January. And then once again, they have until July of 2025 to finish the project. So legally and technically, we cannot, complain until then. But I want it done today, just like you do. I want it done by tomorrow. But they're still in the guidelines of their contract that they signed with ADOT. So they are not doing anything wrong. and I'm thankful that they came back earlier than March to actually do some stuff on the northern section, which means hopefully they'll get down here sooner than that.
All right. Sierra Vista City Council member Mark Rodriguez, thank you for the update, and I hope when this section is done, Mark, that the city is going to have a party on this street here.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually, there's a lot of work going on right now. You see Allo trucks out here. You see ADOT, right?
Yeah.
You see KENG doing another project up there. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So to me, that means jobs. All these guys, all these crews.
Yeah.
If you've seen your local restaurants, your Walmarts, hotels, there's a lot of people in town right now working, which is great. It's good for the economy. It's good for these guys that are working, that they have jobs. A lot of stuff's going on in our community right now. And yes, it's going to cause a lot of traffic problems. So I'm looking forward to hearing that first complaint about the traffic due to the road that we need fixed.
Yes.
And I'm not expecting anything less. So I look forward to those comments as well. But yeah, once it's done, maybe we'll have a big block party and celebrate the road.
Absolutely. All right, Mark, keep us updated, and we'll have various update reports with you and throughout here over the months ahead. But good news, the actual asphalt and gravel trucks will be coming from the gravel plant site, which is going to be just south of Moson Rd here, right?
It's near the shooting range.
Near the shooting range.
Yeah, that's which is going towards Bisbee.
Going towards Bisbee,
yeah.
and that's where they're going to be getting all the gravel, and so you're going to see a lot of these trucks from this construction company pass through this area and go through town to get to that northern portion start, which is by the Whetstone Border Patrol facility.
And that's why they didn't want to do this road first, because if they would have fixed this first, and they're going to be coming back and forth all day long on the road they just fixed, they would have to probably come back and fix it later again.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right. Sounds good. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
all right, good news.